Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Quantum Energy Group session. Again, we are going to be focusing on Millennium Method downloads, which is based on quantum physics. We use fractals to find the weaknesses, then download those weaknesses through your C1 vertebrae, any acupuncture point, pressure point in your body, to point it, collapse your body's wave function, and shift it instantly. And for those that are joining live, you're getting the downloads. For those that are joining the replay, it's also set up so that you get the downloads as you watch this video. So if there's anybody that you think that these downloads would help, please share it with them as well, because they'll get the downloads as soon as they start watching it. So we're going to get started. This is a mini session and we're going to try and keep it down to 15 minutes because I know everyone's busy. So we're going to see what we all need for today and this whole week. So let's see. Okay, perfect. So coming up, what we have is, so these downloads basically are showing us what the weaknesses are, showing us what's going to come up this week, what we need to clear so we can have a more powerful week, quantum leap it, whatever we want to do throughout this week. So creating creative solutions. So some of us might be in this place that we aren't stuck, but we've kind of plateaued. So this is going to give us those creative solutions to really jump out of that, to remove the things that are getting in the way, opening up compassion not just for others, but also compassion with ourselves, so that we really stop being so hard on ourselves, because we can't practice and we can't play and we can't grow if we constantly just keep beating ourselves up. So this is going to allow us to use those creative solutions to jump, try them out, but then be easy on ourselves, changing our decisions, removing this intense fear of loss as well as deserving of gain, or also things staying the same, helping us to just be neutral, because everything is just as it's meant to be. There's no story around it, there's nothing, it's just play with it. Okay, this is happening, well, how can I reframe it instantly instead of getting into the fear of loss, deserving of gain? This means I'm doing it wrong, this means I'm doing it right. None of that matters, because at the end of the day, all it is step by step, and you just keep doing the steps and you just keep growing, and there is no finish line until we leave this planet. And if we look at that, then we can have a lot more fun. A lot of overthinking, overanalyzing going on in our head, stopping us to really create this massive rebirth that we're trying to go. And it's not stopping us, it's just slowing it down. So removing that, helping to regenerate everything in our body, removing all of the crowding around us, opening up space for us to just be, to breathe, to know what we need to do with clarity and peace, accessing all our knowledge. So we have that knowledge, but as we let all these distractions get in the way, all our fears, worries, doubts, anxieties, it pulls that away. So just accessing that, stepping into it, rising our vibrations, opening our chi, our chakras, really helping us to quantum leap our goals. So we got goals. So really getting focused on all the things, getting away from us actually doing that. Sometimes it's even we have this goal and we know what we need to do, but then for whatever reason, fears or doubts or pressure, we just do the other tasks first versus working on our goal. And so that goal is still kind of sitting there. We're getting all this other stuff done, whether also we're getting that other stuff done too because we feel obligated or responsible to everyone else. But this week with these creative solutions and really having that focus, it's really about focusing on your goal first. So doing the hard stuff first, doing the stuff for your goal first, spending at least 1 hour doing that before we do everything else, before we do stuff for other people, before we do even just little tasks here and there. This is going to help us to really achieve the goal that we set for this week, removing any karma surrounding it, helping us to be very mindful, but again, not overthinking. So not getting overly in our heads, and removing any toxic thoughts that are getting in the way. So let's start with toxic thoughts, and let's remove all these toxic thoughts, the overthinking, the lost gain, all of that, and remove it absolutely, totally, and all. So let's see what we need for toxic thoughts. So So we have de-escalating. So obviously there's a lot going on right now, astrologically, collectively. So let's just de-escalate everything, and constantly, anytime something happens, anytime a trigger happens, constantly just put us into the solutions immediately. Train yourself on that, practice that this week. That's going to help really bring us the peace and tranquility, the neutrality that's going to open everything to its infinite potential. And again, we have dreams and goals. So all these things are just practice to help us to really manifest our dreams and goals. And the end of the day, the dream and a goal is not our purpose in life. The dream and the goal is the motivation that allows us to do all the hard things, to do all the hard growth processes, to break all those patterns, to break those addictions, to be able to achieve that goal. So the goal is just basically the thing that holds space for us to do all the hard work, to experience, to grow, and do everything we need to do in this life. So it's not really about that goal. That goal is just that motivation, and the purpose is the journey. So everybody take a deep breath. I'm going to download through your C1 vertebrae and any acupuncture point. So take a deep breath. And then again. Okay, we're going to see if that's clear, and then we'll do that again. So we have removing all the overwhelm and all the suppression. Again, this is all about our dreams and goals. So this is the week to really make huge progress with our dreams and goals, and to really put them in the forefront and not let anything distract us from it. Whatever happens in life, or what people want from you, or even just little things that come in your way. Yes, if something happens and you have to deal with something, then you deal with it, but consciously ask yourself, really, is that something that you really need to do before your goal, or are you just doing it because you're overwhelmed by your goal, or that you may possibly be suppressing it somehow because of whatever is going on unconsciously or subconsciously, stuff we don't even know that our body is resisting, or our energy is resisting, whether it's karmic, past life, or whatever it might be. So just really ask yourself that question. Start your day by just saying, okay, well, what is the one thing that I can do today that is going to help me to finally achieve this goal this week? And make sure you do that first before anything else. And then if something comes in, really truly ask yourself, is this a priority, or can this be something that you can do after? So let's take a deep breath. Okay, so there is a lot going on obviously in March, and it's all happening for the purpose to help us to grow. So if we can just really focus and use that, and maybe this week and last week is really just about like not being a victim to our circumstances, like stuff's going to happen, but are we going to be reacting, or are we going to respond to it? And if we're responding, we can keep in alignment with our goal and not constantly be going here, there, and everywhere and not getting our goals done. So this is the week to actually get our goal done. So think about what you want to get done this week. Put it in the chat, put it in the replay, and say it out loud so that you can hold yourself accountable to say that you're getting this done by Friday. These downloads will help you to do that. They're going to channel you those creative solutions. They're going to help you to stay in your power, stay in your knowledge, and remove all these toxic thoughts, overthinking, suppression, overwhelm, so that you can actually achieve it. So let's see what else is left for the toxic thoughts. Good, so now that's clear. So just really stepping into that self-love and that self-worth, so much so that nothing can take you off your track in this rebirth, reinvention. Again, tons of creative solutions coming to us, being channeled to us this week to quantum leap our growth. So take a deep breath. I am going to be doing a post on this later in the week, but it's something that came up about circumstantial power versus internal power. And if we constantly, and that's what these downloads just came up showing us about the self-love for our rebirth and reinvention, if we constantly rely on external power, circumstantial power, external validation, we are constantly going to be a victim to our circumstance, to the people around us. But if we really focus on that self-love, that validation, whatever it's going to take for you to do that from within, then it's not going to matter. Your power is coming from within rather than outside. And that's really how we're going to make change in our lives and then ripple that change out to everyone else. So think about how you can do that. For me, that's doing the gratitude journal and writing and literally self-validating myself every morning and writing at least 3 things that I love about myself, that I'm proud of, and self-validating myself, things I've accomplished purely just in that one journal. So that one journal becomes this crazy high vibration that can pull me out of anything. And when I'm in that power and I know what my goals are and I know I'm doing it for the greater good of everyone, then it can't pull me off my course. So let's see. Now we're going to do mindfulness, but mindfulness is also the extreme of mindfulness is coming up today, so that which goes together with the overthinking fractal. So let's clear that out. So then we have emotions. So just those emotions, again, getting the better of us. We don't want to suppress those emotions. We want to work through them and we want to release them. We want to feel them. This is going to help us to regulate those emotions, to really be able to to respond rather than react. So take a deep breath. Okay, we're going to do that again. Good, so that one cleared quite quickly. We have whatever we need to really make us more effective and make us strong to all the stuff that is going on around us, so that we can keep focused and we can keep and actually do what we say we're going to do this week. I know we always do what we say we were going to do, but this week, let's just make it 10 times bigger. Let's quantum leap it. Let's be accountable to it every single day. Wake up, and that's the first thing that we do. Everything else comes after that. Let's remove all those fears of loss, deserving of gain. Absolutely, totally and all for this week. So take a deep breath. And also just like play this game in your head, whether it's true or not, it doesn't matter. But if you play this game this week with yourself, and anytime something goes wrong, anytime something breaks, anytime something gets in the way of your schedule, anytime anything happens that triggers you, tell yourself it's a game, that it's testing you to see if you can stay on course. And tell yourself, it's all happening for me. It's happening for me to master my reactions. And if you can play with it that way, imagine what you can do this week versus getting frustrated that this happened, or it taking you off course or putting you in a bad mood. You can go through the rest of your day happy. Like, all that stuff happened to me today, and that's why I was 1 minute late for my live. And I was like, something would break, and immediately I was like, you know what? I just started singing, "This is happening for me." And I just played with it. And then I was like, this is an amazing day. It's all happening for me, to practice, to help me to have this peace in life no matter what's going on, so that I can be in control of my responses. I can be in control of my reactions, because that's the only thing that I can control. Everything else is completely out of my control, but I can be in control of how I react or respond. And so I just had fun with it. And it doesn't mean that you have to be happy all the time. If something does happen, process it. But if it's something small, like something breaking, and it's going to make you late for your thing, play with it, because everything is divinely orchestrated and everything is going to happen at the moment that it needs to. So you don't have to stress too much about it. And if you tell yourself that, you'll be surprised how easily you can resolve the problem versus getting stuck in it and then going down that rabbit hole and going through all that fallout for nothing. So just play with that this week. Okay, so now we're just going to make sure We have helping us to not, again, this is all about our reactions, is to not participate so much and just try and become the observer, not get entrenched or consumed by things, and just be the observer and pull yourself out. What would you tell your friend? What would you tell your family member? So that you can get out of the emotions and get into the creative solutions, so that you can master being effective versus letting external circumstances take you down. So take a deep breath. We're going to download you now and shift that out. Okay, so we're going to do that one more time and see if it's clear. And now we have removing all the pressures, all these pressures that are weighing us down. The pressures are only there because we're allowing it to be a pressure on us. The minute that we have healthy boundaries and we say, this is what I'm doing this week, and you're really truly in alignment with it, and if something comes into your energy that's not in alignment with it and you're in your boundaries, you will not have those pressures. But if you will only have pressures if you are not able to hold those healthy boundaries with neutrality, and then they're going to pressure you, and it's going to be something that's just like on your back, constantly weighing you down, constantly in your ear, the guilt, whatever that's going on there. But you won't have that if you're very clear with your focus and your boundaries. So remove all those pressures. No one can put pressure on you if you don't allow them to put pressure on you. Building a new, stronger foundation in this energy to help you to really trust in yourself, trust in what you need to do to create this goal to happen, and then really help to remove that on a core root level from our personal profile, from past lives, from this life, ancestral stuff. Just dump it all out. So take a deep breath. Okay, do that again. And also, when it comes to pressures, don't get frustrated with the pressures. You know, if you can just play with it, whether this is true or not, play with it and be grateful that the pressures are there triggering you so that you can master this. Once you can really get to that place that nothing can like weigh you down or trigger you or make you feel bad, you can live the most peaceful, beautiful life. And you don't need anything else other than that. It's all what you tell yourself, what you create. Like, once I started practicing this, I found so much joy in my life, and I didn't need more of anything. It was just something that came from within. And really, this controls our life. So removing any resentments. Resentment, again, always only comes from us not having healthy boundaries, doing something that we don't want to do. Let's say someone asks us something and we have to say yes or no, and we feel guilty or resentful to that. But yet we teach everybody, all you can do is ask. Just ask. The worst thing they can do is say no. So we teach people to do that, but when people do it to us because we don't have healthy boundaries, we get triggered by it. Then it becomes resentment, or we end up doing it and it takes us off our schedule and we aren't productive, or something goes wrong and then we're resentful. But the only person we're really resentful to, we project it onto people, but really the resentment is really something internal, because we allowed that pressure. We allowed it to pressure us to do something that we did not feel in alignment with. And if you can just really stay true to that, because you know that your goal is going to benefit those around you. They may not see it right now, but they will see it once you achieve that goal. They'll see that those healthy boundaries actually are helping them versus hurting them. But it takes a while for people to see that, because when you first set those boundaries, it's going to trigger everyone, including yourself. So let's remove that, take responsibility for ourselves, our actions, our thoughts, build a safe and secure space for us to communicate from a place of healthy boundaries with love and compassion, so that we don't have to ever feel resentful to anyone or anything, because we're not giving our power away constantly. So take a deep breath. Let's do that one more time. I'm gonna just do a couple more minutes because I know we're going over. This is just a mini session. Normally my group sessions go from 1 hour to 2 hours, but we're doing a lot in this short amount of time. Okay, so we have removing all the guilt, all the judgment, fear of judgment. As we step into this, a lot of guilt's gonna come up, a lot of fear of judgment of what are people gonna think, that we're not, doing certain things that we normally would do. But really, you're doing this for yourself and for all of those around you. And if you can keep true to that, you can do it with love and compassion, and you can do it in the most peaceful way. And then as you achieve those goals and as you make it happen, they'll feel it, and they're going to also get the benefits from it as well. So let's remove that, give us the support that we need, remove the issues from the root, release and let go absolutely, totally, and all of all the guilt, the judgment, being with integrity to ourselves and responsibilities. So take a deep breath. Okay, let's do that again. Again, we have boundaries, and then we have gaslighting. So really, even after you're done watching this, sit down and write 3 new boundaries that you can set, or just 1 boundary if that's all you need. But just write down what that is. What if you set these boundaries that is going to allow you to achieve this goal that you want to achieve for this week? Write that down, write it on a paper that you can see next to your goal, so that anytime something comes up, you can focus on that, and you're going to ask, is this in alignment with this? If it is, do it. If it isn't, then not. And then remove the gaslighting from others to you, as well as you to yourself, because we gaslight ourselves all the time and talk ourselves out of it. We tend to oftentimes be our own worst enemy. So let's just remove all that so that we can actually do what we want, make progress in our life, not just for ourselves, but for everyone around us. Because when we achieve our goals or our desires or our purpose, not purpose, because our purpose is just to experience, but when we're in alignment, everyone benefits from us. When you're in a good mood and you're around someone in a good mood, it elevates you. But let's say someone's in a bad mood, or let's say you're in a bad mood and they come into your energy, you don't want to send that negative energy to them. So be responsible for yourself. You're also being responsible for anyone that comes into your world. Imagine you doing this, you being this beautiful ball of light that can hold space for everyone in your life, that anyone, whether it's friends, family, or whether it's just someone at the store, comes into your energy, comes into this beautiful ball of energy that you hold, and your vibrations trigger their vibrations to rise it. And then just by meeting you for 1 or 2 seconds, it helps to shift them to go out into the world and have a better day. Wouldn't that be amazing? So take a deep breath. And again, the only way we can do that is if we do the work for ourselves first. I know it's cliche, but put your oxygen mask on before you put on anyone else's. Then you can give more people that light than if you were just constantly drained all the time, giving this little bit that you have left. Then we have, if we do this, there's fear of abandonment, emotional blackmail, resentment, or we feel this unconscious thing that we are abandoning them. And it's not abandonment. If you're doing it for the greater good of the people around you, you're doing it, you're just choosing to live what you're meant to live, knowing that when you're in alignment to that, it's gonna ripple out to everyone around you. When you're not in alignment, really, when I'm not in alignment and I'm not doing what I'm meant to do, I'm not a very nice person, and I don't have as much patience or tolerance for my son or my family or my friends or anybody that I come across, even the spectrum guy. You know what I mean? But if I'm in a beautiful alignment and I have all this love and light and battery recharged within me, I have so much patience for my son. I can help him to snap out of his, or to not snap, but help him to work through his meltdowns so much easier because I'm holding space for him. Or even, you know, when I went to Whole Foods and I was trying to order something and the guy was very grumpy, and I just thought, you know what, let's play with this. So I just was super nice to him. I sent him this, you know, I had the intention of sending him energy. All of a sudden he changed and he was super nice, and he's like, hey, why don't you have this also? And he gave me something extra on the side. But that was just because I was playing with this. And the only way I could play with that was because I did self-care and I had healthy boundaries that couple days before that. But then if I fall off the wagon, I obviously don't have that. So these are the things that we have to do more than just your goals. Like our goals, I said, are a motivation to get there, but this is about what the goals are allowing us to do, the changes is allowing us to make every single day in our lives. So take a deep breath. Okay, so we're going to do that again. And then hopefully this will be the last one and we can clear it so you can move on with your day. Okay, so still a little bit of that emotional blackmail, that guilt, that foundation. So emotional blackmail, people don't mean to emotionally blackmail us. We don't mean to emotionally blackmail them. This is something that we, you know, were raised in society. This is just something, it's a strategy that our ancestors and old society used to do. But if we can be aware of it, one, we can stop doing it to ourselves and to our loved ones. Two, we can be strong when people accidentally or not intentionally do that to us, because that's their defense mechanism, or that's their you know, way or their strategy. But we can make sure what they do is their actions. How we react or respond is our responsibility. So if we can be strong to it, no, number one, they didn't mean to do it. And number two, that should not be swaying us from getting off course. Then we can remove the guilt from it so that we can move through the day holding this beautiful space, knowing that what we're doing is for everyone. And then when we do say yes or no, there's no, if emotional blackmail does get put on us by others or ourselves, there's no guilt surrounding it. That doesn't lower our vibrations, that doesn't slow us down. Because we spend so much time worrying about all of that, draining our energy. Our energy is going to it for no purpose. All it does is slow us down, and we didn't even do the thing that we were going to do. Then we just feel guilty about it, and we're just wasting all this energy doing it. So let's just delete all that, use that energy to make the goal happen so that we can be that love and light, and then that people around us can feel that and we can help lift them up as well. So take a deep breath. Okay, let's do that again. Okay, now, so I'm going to work on this after we finish, and I'm going to send you guys more downloads through the mastery level, because this is quite deep rooted, and I knew that it was going to be, because when I cleared the session before I came on, there was a lot of stuff going on. It is a powerful month this month, so use the energy, use the astrological influences, use everything to allow you to practice this shift. So and step into it. So when something happens, trust that it's happening, because this is a massive month. This is going to quantum leap us. So step into it versus backing away from it, versus being afraid of it, versus thinking, why is this happening? Oh no, that means that I'm failing. So let's remove all of the control issues as well. Like I said, the only thing we can control is the way that we react and we respond. That's the only thing we can do. So let's just practice that. Removing the guilt, feeling stuck or trapped, and then bringing in forgiveness. Forgiveness to everyone around us and forgiveness to ourselves. So take a deep breath. Okay, so I'm going to do more work on this as soon as I'm done, but it would be incredible if you guys wanted to be accountable to write in this replay, in this post, what goal you want to achieve this week. And if you even want to include the 1 or 3 boundaries that you're going to implement to be able to achieve that goal. If you don't want to write it as a post on my post, then you can just write it in your journal yourself. Write your goal and write your boundary, the boundaries that you're choosing to put in this week. And then anytime something happens, look at that, center with it, and ask as if it's in alignment or not. And then let me know how your week goes. So I wish you all an incredible week and see you next week. Bye.